Hello everyone, welcome to what is for sure the most anticipated episode of each year. This is the 2026 Major Series Calendar Reveal podcast. Today we will indeed be revealing the track car combinations to be used in 2026 Major Series, as well as unveiling the 2026 MEC calendar. And along with those, we're also going to be detailing some of the changes happening off the track for the majors next year, so there is plenty to get on with. For those listening in audio, there will be a video version of this recording that includes all the calendars for you to see. So if you prefer that, there is a link in the show notes to the Majors YouTube channel for that. Okay, we'll take a deep breath, do a mic check, and then get into it straight after this. Hi all. Just before we get into the podcast proper, I wanted to share news that Major Series and MEC supporter Sudspeed have started their Black Friday deals early this year. Head on over to sudspeed.com and get 25% off store-wide on their range of sim racing gloves, shirts and socks. Plus, using the code MAJORS will get you an extra 10% on top of that already discounted price. So there's really never been a better time to get your hands into the market-leading sim racing gloves you deserve. With a range of designs sure to appeal to everybody and worldwide shipping at a very low cost, these gloves are a no-brainer for anyone in the sim racing community. So, sudspeed.com, 25% off, and use the checkout code MAJORS for a further 10% discount as well. Sudspeed, gloves for sim racers by sim racers. Okay, let's get on with the podcast. Okay, with me I have Mike. Mike, hello.
Hello.
We've also got a couple of the other competition committee members with us who I'm sure will chime in at various points during this podcast. Mike, everybody is here, is super keen, sitting on the edge of their seats, waiting for the release of the calendar for 2026. So round by round, let's put them out of their misery and have a run through what the current track combinations are going to be for next season.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we're back to a 12-round season again this year. So for the second year in a row, we're back to an expanded 12-round season. So that's good. Gives us an opportunity to cover more disciplines and have a little bit more consistency between the races. So I think that's awesome. In total, the schedule has 3 crown jewels as normal. We have 4 wild card races where we have different car and track combos for the 3 regions. We have mini championships, which Garen and maybe Nick will talk about as we go along. And we have 1 classic race. So let's dive in. Round 1 is an absolutely unusual one for the majors. Our very first wildcard round is in round 1. America's region is going to go to the ever-popular Snowball Derby at 5 Flags in the Super Late Models on January 11th. So that race has been one of probably the most popular short track race we ever run. So excited to bring that back. We haven't had it as the opening round of the series since 2017, which was also the last season before we expanded into multiple regions. So it's been a long time since that race has occupied that premier spot. In Europe and international, their wildcard races are actually TCR races. So it's the short track of road racing, where the Europeans go to Oulton Park and the Australians are at Winton National. So again on January 11th. Round 2 is our traditional first crown jewel of the year, our Intimidator 500. We will be running the next gens, so I know sometimes people are looking for the 87s or maybe the 2004s or whatever, but we are running the next gens in the Intimidator this year, and that's on February 1st. We will, of course, come complete with all of our pre-race activities, duels, and whatnot. Round 3 is our classic round of the year, and all 3 regions get the same classic round, and that's the Sebring Classic 2-hour. This should be a super popular combo with the HPD and the 2 GT1s. That'll be the best sounding race of the year, in my opinion. Excited for that. That's also the first race in the Grand Touring Mini Championship, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Round 4 is our second wildcard round, and we're bringing back the dirt round for this year, but we're tempering it a little bit by making it all free content in all 3 regions. So in the Americas region, we're doing an oval, third oval at Limaland in the Legends. So that should be a super fun race, just rough and tumble, and everybody can get it going. And then in Europe and international, we're doing Rallycross at Daytona in Europe and Phoenix in international, and that's in the Free Beetle. So again, should be a super fun race. In round 5, our second crown jewel, our traditional Speedway 500, we are doing Indy, and that is going to be in the Dallara IR18, so the modern car. and that is the first round of the open wheel mini championship as well. In not really round 6, but in the 6th race of the year, we have our Majors 24, so non-point scoring as always, team event, good time, and that's May 30th tentatively, but that is subject to iRacing's special event calendar, so that could be anywhere from May 30th to the middle of June, so stay tuned on that. So that is not locked in by any stretch of the imagination. Round 6 on the actual calendar, 6th round of the point scoring anyway, is the 2 Hours of the Glen, and this sort of kicks off a fun part of the summer season, if you're in North America anyway, where we're doing a little bit of IMSA, so you can get into a groove maybe a little bit. So the 2 Hours of the Glen is round 6, and that is going to be on June 7th. Again, that's TBD, depending on how the Majors 24 falls, but that's the tentative date at this point. And round 7 is again an IMSA race, this time at Road America. And these races also tie in nicely with MEC. I won't spoil it fully, let Garen get into that, but very nice tie-ins there. But again, in the summertime, a little bit of IMSA action allows somebody who might be coming in who raced the 24 with us to have 2 more races right on the calendar immediately thereafter in similar type of racing and really get a feel for what the Majors is all about in cars they're comfortable with, and then hopefully we'll be able to get them out of that comfort zone once we get into the rest of the schedule. So again, round 6 and 7 are our IMSA, the rounds 2 and 3 of the Grand Touring Mini Championship. Round 8, we actually will be going back to the Brickyard, so we'll be doing Indy twice this year. We haven't done that in a long time, many years, but we're doing the Brickyard 400 in the NASCAR Next Gens. Again, round 2 of the NASCAR Mini Championship. Brickyard is a fun, popular NASCAR race, and we've really only avoided it because it's double dipping on the track, but it's worth running every so often, and this year is the year. So Brickyard 400 in round 8 of the championship. Round 9 will be one of the absolutely best rounds of the year. It's an IndyCar wildcard, so 3 different tracks, all in the Dallara RA routine, and a good chance to get a lot of experience in that car if you enjoy driving it. So America's is going to Portland, so as a local, that's really cool. I may have to come out of retirement for that one. The Europeans are going to Laguna Seca, and the International is going to Long Beach. So 3 iconic venues in the IndyCar series on August 30th in round 9. In round 10, we're V8 supercars in the fall, which is not unusual for us, but we are not going to the mountain this time. We are going to the Bend, or possibly Adelaide if it's released. We'll see. But planning on the Bend in the V8 supercars in all 3 regions. That's just the Gen 3 supercars, so that should be awesome. In round 11, on October 18th, all regions are racing the same track in the Formula Majors Crown Jewel, and that's going to be at Mexico or possibly Miami, but planning on Mexico City. And then round 12, the final round of the season, we've always had really good success when we've done a NASCAR finale round as the last round of the season. It's been popular, a good way to end the season, a good way to close out championships, I think. And this year is our final wild card round of the season. It is the 3rd NASCAR race in the NASCAR Mini Championship, and of course it is the final race of the season. So America's gets Bristol, so they're going to be doing Bristol night race. Europeans are doing Phoenix, and the International is doing Richmond. So this is a short track round in NASCAR, but 3 old school awesome races in NASCAR, and those are all in the Gen 4. So era appropriate for those tracks especially. That should be awesome. So that is the rundown of the schedule.
I'd like to just throw out there the Formula M this year will be in the Super Formula 23 again.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Great call. Exactly. So hopefully it's a good race this weekend. We're recording this right before. It should be.
Okay, thanks for running us through that, Mike. Lots of detail there, lots of things for people to take in. And one of the things that you alluded to several times was the mini-series. There's 4 of them across a year, and competition committee member Nick Kuhn is with us. Nick, could you give us a bit of a understanding and give people some insight into what just are these mini-series that Mike's been referring to?
Yeah, so these mini-series are going to be little championships that'll be taking place throughout the year. And each one is consisting of 3 rounds. And we're looking at a way to highlight people who excel at a particular type of racing and just add something extra for everyone to fight for throughout the season by highlighting these people and letting everybody shine in the series that they have the strengths in.
Yeah, so the reason for these mini-series is not everybody can commit or come along to all 12 rounds. Obviously, we have the drop rounds, and again, next season there'll be 2, the same as there was this year. But not everybody can make it even for 10 of the rounds. But if somebody has a specialty or somebody's looking to dip their toe in with major series, that's what these mini series are definitely going to provide people the opportunity. You can come just for a subset of it, and you've still got something to fight for. You're not just showing up having a one-off race. If you can make it for the 3 races within the mini series, then you do still have a quote unquote title or championship to fight for. So hopefully that provides a little bit more incentive for people to join. It gives the regular runners something that they can maybe focus on, not just the overall standings. And yeah, it should hopefully provide a little bit of extra fun as the season goes on. Now, one of the other things that Mike alluded to during the rundown of the calendar there was some tie-ins between the major series and the MEC calendar. Around that middle part of the year where the Majors 24 is, we do have 2 IMSA category races very soon after it. And both of those will actually be precursors to rounds at the same circuit in the MEC. So getting a bit ahead of myself, spoilers, Watkins and Road America are in the MEC calendar. But we may as well go through the full MEC calendar now as well. For 2026, we're moving from 5 to 6 rounds and also introducing a drop round, which we didn't have in the first season of the MEC. The final round cannot be used as a drop round, so everybody will know going into that last round what everybody's score is, and that'll make championship fights a little easier for people to follow. But anyway, there'll be some more information around season registration and rule changes and what have you about MEC coming very soon, early December. Some of it's already been detailed in some podcasts that have been done since the Road Atlanta special event, which I won't go over again now. But yeah, the details around MEC administration, team registration, that sort of stuff will all be coming very soon. But the calendar, as I said, 6 rounds, and we'll be starting at Daytona on January 17 with an 8-hour race, which should be, I would imagine, a great forerunner for the official 24-hour race for anyone that's interested in that. The start time for that will be at 1600 GMT, which should mean a pretty good start and finish time for Europe and Americas in particular, and a late night for me. Round 2 will be at Sebring on March 7. And again, that should be a pretty good lead-up race for people that are also looking at doing the iRacing special event, which will probably be a couple of weeks after that as well. So that'll be a 6-hour event starting at 1800 GMT. Round 3, April 18. This is the split round where the pro or unrestricted divisions will be running at Long Beach, and the Pro-Am division, so LMP2 and the GT3 teams that are running a silver and or bronze driver, will be competing at Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Both of those races will be 4 hours, and the current plan is for them to run concurrently. The way that the protest system and the stewarding system is set up for MEC should allow for the same stewards to be making determinations and decisions on protests in both races at the same time. So the current plan is to run them concurrently at 1300 GMT, as I said, on April 18. Round 4 will be a 4-hour race again at Indianapolis on the road course. That will be on May 9, again starting at 1300 GMT. In fact, all 3 rounds, all 3 of the shorter 4-hour races will be starting at 1300 GMT for a little bit of consistency. Essentially what I've done is I've tried to make a lot of these races finish at around about what I consider a respectable time in Europe and for America. So round 5, and this is the first of the 2 rounds that will tie in with the major series, Watkins Glen, June 20, again, 1300 GMT. Just a little note that I'll put there against Watkins Glen, that is week 13 in iRacing. So if there was to be anything major occur or major foreshadowed in terms of changes to the IMSA classes or to that circuit, it is possible that we might move that date if it looks like something catastrophically abnormal might occur in the season build. But just a little asterisk on that one. And then the final round, Road America, July 11, 12-hour race, much longer race, as a lot of people asked for at the end of last season in the survey, wanted some longer races. So final round will be 12 hours starting at 10 GMT. And again, a good chance to get some practice running in the major series for individual drivers in the couple of weeks leading up to that round as well. So that will be the MEC calendar for 2026. It's very IMSA focused. Season 1 was WEC focused. This one is IMSA focused. Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a change, but I think all of these tracks are known for being super great circuits for multi-class racing, perhaps with the exception of Long Beach, but hey, that'll be fun. And yeah, it should be a great season and one that I'm really looking forward to.
Heck yeah.
Okay, with the MEC calendar there now out in the public domain, some off-track stuff that will be changing for Major Series in 2026. Now, Mike, I might just open up the floor for you to give people a rundown of what is changing, particularly in your world, as far as Majors in 2026.
So I'm sure it's not a big secret. Obviously, you've seen and heard from me much less over the last year than ever before. And the good news is that we have a way more than capable team on the CC, and obviously always looking for more help there. More volunteers is always good. But you've seen and heard from me less. And honestly, I've just been busy with a ton of different projects, including the Majors Garage, Sim Racing Stewards, which you'll hear more about here in a second, and other things, to be honest, in my personal life. And the reality is that we've done the majors since 2014 full season, first full season. It is not novel for me any longer, and I felt that it was really important that we give an amplified voice to people who are in it around, people who care about it, because the championship's important to them personally, and to help guide the series in that way. So really, I've turned over decision-making, day-to-day stuff to the CC in general. And again, with people like Garen, who obviously was running MEC for us. He's been in charge of the stewarding process for us for over a year now. He's been doing this podcast, done a ton of things with Wayne doing the schedule, and Wayne doing all of the pre-qualifying cat chasing with getting people to get their numbers and getting people to sign up for the correct league and getting the pre-qualification results on the website and all of that. Obviously, Lynn doing all of the Discord things and just generally being available to members in Discord and for help, and Jake Fox doing the same thing, and Nick providing a ton of expertise on technical aspects and just user experience to everybody else chipping in with the schedule and helping day to day. We have a good team, and again, could always use more. It is a call for volunteers for sure, but you have seen me less and less. You won't see me a ton day to day in the future. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. I'm still running the series. It is still my baby, but it'll be good for me to take a breath and work on some other things, maybe reignite a passion for it, maybe even start racing in it again. That would be awesome. Have not had any desire to do that. Anyway, that's sort of a what's up with me and the direction of the series. The series isn't going anywhere. It was one of the reasons I created the competition committee years ago, was so that there would always be a series and it doesn't have to have any particular person at the helm. So anyway, that's that. As far as other things that we can communicate about the series that are off-track items, I can tell you that we are going to be modifying the way we do our broadcasts next year fairly significantly. All broadcasts will be on the Major Series YouTube channel. As far as the talent that we use from a producing or commentating perspective, that is still TBD, but keep your ears open. I'll just say that. As we have done for the last year and a half, we've had live stewarding in our rounds. That has been one of the most well-received things we've ever done. So clearly we're going to keep doing that, but we felt like it was just not fair to continue to ask for that service on a volunteer basis. And beginning in 2026, we are paying our stewards by the hour for doing the live stewarding. Now that is a good thing, because it means we get to hold people more accountable to quality. We're not just looking for warm bodies that can fill a seat. And that's not to disparage anybody who's been doing the stewarding for us. Most of them have been great, certainly all well-intentioned. But again, we can leverage the fact that it's paid now to make sure that the folks that are doing it are qualified to do it and are doing a good job and are interacting with our member base in a positive way. So that's a really good positive change. And Garen could probably talk more about that when he talks about SRS. But so those are two really big changes for next year. We'll have more news on prizes, coins, things of that nature in the near future. So just we'll trickle it out to you as the off season goes along. With the majors, as always, it's a short off season, just a couple months, November to January, and then we're right back at it. I'm excited for the schedule. Wayne and the guys put together an awesome schedule. Love the mini series. Very excited for the 26 schedule to roll on out.
Now, Mike mentioned there a bit of an open call for volunteers. Yes, the competition committee does have a number of members already, but with the many varied and sometimes specialised tasks that are required from the competition committee, there's always room for more hands on deck, if you like. Now, Nick, you're one of the members that has joined more recently. How have you found the move from Majors competitor to Majors competition committee member? And what would you say to people that might be thinking that they've got something to contribute from an organisational perspective?
For the most part, it's been a lot of fun. It's been an honor too. So it's interesting seeing behind the curtain on some of the things that go on. But overall, it's been a really good time. We're having a lot of collaboration between everybody. Everybody's got a lot of really good ideas, and we're trying to implement some changes that we feel make the series better.
I think everybody that joins the competition committee has come with ideas in mind that they've brought to the table, some of which get implemented, some of which don't make sense. I know that I've raised lots of things that people have told me that I'm stupid for even thinking would make sense, and they've educated me as to why those ideas weren't the right ones to have. But one of the ones that we have implemented, which again Mike alluded to in what he was detailing, is the paying of stewards and having that live stewarding process introduced into the Majors series. With Sim Racing Stewards, the new service that, yes, Mike and I have initially collaborated to start and are looking to build, not just within the Major series, but within other series as well, it certainly makes sense for the Major series to utilise that service and have a more professionalised stewarding team providing that administration and direction when it comes to Major series races. I don't anticipate there being a huge change in terms of what we're going to do from a race direction or stewarding perspective in 2026 compared to 2025, other than, as Mike alluded to, we'll be paying stewards, and hopefully the level of professionalism and consistency, which is the big thing across the series, will increase. And I would certainly encourage anybody that thinks that they can contribute in that regard to go to the Sim Racing Stewards website. It's free to sign up. You can definitely be part of it. There's a bit of an induction and training process to go through, but it's open for anybody that is willing to do it and can demonstrate that they are reasonable at making determinations as far as on-track incidents is concerned. Yeah, encourage everybody to check that out if you haven't already. We've already got a good base of stewards from the last 12 months or so of live stewarding in the Major series that have come on board. We've got people from outside of Majors that are coming on now as stewards as well. So yeah, that will be definitely one of the areas that I hope to see go from strength to strength in 2026. Okay, so we've run through the calendars. We've spoken a bit about some of the things that Mike is doing next season. Now, as Mike said, he's not disappearing entirely. It's more like the big corporate CEO act where you leave the work to everybody else whilst you're out sipping cocktails on the golf course. And then when you get into the limo to be driven home, your driver gives you some messages about some decisions that people would like your input on. And so that's how we'll be operating the competition committee, I think, for the Majors next year. But yeah, Mike certainly won't be disappearing. I'm sure that you'll still have a presence in the Discord, Mike, not to mention that all of the financial questions will still be going to you. Yeah, enjoy those. But yeah, if anybody's got questions, please feel free to send things on the Discord. Somebody from the competition committee will come back to you if it's a question that we can answer. There will be a number of blog posts and potentially podcasts that will come out over the next few weeks in the run up to the end of this year, giving more detail on things that we haven't been able to cover today around exactly what the broadcast situations will be, start times for regions, any other little pieces of information that are going to be relevant to you. But yeah, there is still more information to come, so do stay tuned on the Discord, on the website, to the podcast. Mike, thank you for your time, input today, and everything that you've done over 13 seasons of the Major series and will continue to do into the future. And also to Nick and the rest of the competition committee that have been working really, really hard in the background, both on this calendar and putting together the direction in the future of the series. Yeah, thank you for everything that you're doing as well. And hopefully 2026 continues in an upward fashion as far as the Major series is concerned. And yeah, long may the Major series continue.
Thank you, sir.
I suppose I better actually have it up.
What's that? Oh, the schedule?
I've just realised what I just said too, but yes, the schedule. 30 seconds into the recording and I already the blooper for the end. Are you kidding me?